So I gather you've got some questions you'd like to ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. Please, sit down.
Does she know I'm here? Oh, hello. I wasn't doing anything untoward, I swear.
Please, sit down.
Shit, now I can't access a computer without her seeing me, can I? Fuck.
Please, sit down.
Right, fuck, okay.
Shall we begin?
Shit, right.
He says he wasn't in the building. Well, I don't know how he'd be able to back up that claim. The police found him not too far away from here, that's true, but it was within walking distance. He could have easily got where he did in time. And there's a whole bunch of other evidence. I'm sorry, I just don't see how he thinks that's going to hold any weight. Like who? No, I don't think so. I think it's quite cut and dry. I can't imagine someone else over in the Meta Centre doing it. They like to sound like they know what they're doing, but most of them are incompetent. I know for a fact that some of them use their room number for their alarm code, for God's sake.
Oh,
Does
really?
that sound convincing to you? Alex was the only one who really knew what he was doing, and anyway, it's like I said, there was more evidence, wasn't there? Well, for example, the argument we had the night of the attack. Alex and I were having a heated discussion that night. I know that's somewhat anecdotal, but to me it's as good as gold in terms of evidence. Wouldn't you agree?
Not really, no.
Well, that's that then. If Alex was telling the truth, then wouldn't it be obvious? You see, that's the problem, isn't it? I understand that we need to take everyone's story into account, but there's an inherent risk with listening to the story of a desperate man. He'll say anything to try and escape justice, and people like you are duty-bound to listen to him. I don't know what I'd do if I spoke to him again. I don't think I'd be able to keep my cool. It must be an awkward position you're in, having to research such a terrible person. But you must have an opinion on the matter. His actions sparked the debate over the Union Act, defined our jobs. You may not be picking sides, but you must have an opinion. Wow.
So I get to choose.
You're in a privileged position, being able to disconnect yourself from it all. I wish all the employees here were so lucky. Let's carry on, shall we?
Right. This is the moment after a line about facts. Can you prove him wrong?
He thinks I'm lying. That's not really news, Mr. Miller. I think anyone in the country could have told you what Alex thinks about what we do here. He has a twisted view of things. Out of curiosity, what is it he thinks is so bad about the act?
Good, you're being lied to about the numbers. Yeah, they are.
Oh, this is getting far-fetched. And I suppose I'm the one lying to the country. Don't answer that. I'm sorry, but I have to deal with this kind of accusation day in and day out. I guess it's an occupational necessity. No, and I don't suppose you will.
No, I didn't get the chance to get in
The
that
Union
fucking
Act is
room.
a force for good, Mr. Miller. A force for peace and also ownership of our country.
Fuck off.
Is it going to please everybody? No, but in all honesty, what could?
Ownership of the
protesters
country.
out there are chasing an impossible dream, and they're lining up in droves to blame everyone else for its shortcomings. But let me ask you this. You've been here all morning. Do you think we're the bad guys?
Yes. For God's sake.
Exactly. And I can't think
I
of
don't have any
anything that
evidence, and
would.
nothing here makes me think that.
Listening to Alex talk must have been convincing, I'm sure, but when you're confronted with the overwhelming evidence here at the facility, well, I'm just glad you get to see things firsthand.
Maybe the way you...
Look, when you're dealing with a group, you have to represent them as a whole. There may be some shining examples of success out there, but it would be a lie for us to misrepresent all the ones causing the bigger problems. I shouldn't have
Spoken
asked
like a
it, it
female,
was
Vida.
unfair. You clearly don't understand the inner workings of what we do here. And that's admirable. I understand you have a job to do. Just make sure it doesn't interfere with ours, and I'm sure you'll do just fine.
For Christ's sake. Okay, stolen ID.
Is that what he said? That his keycard was stolen? Well, I don't think there's any way I could confirm or deny that for you, Mr. Miller. I'm not even sure what that would have to do with me. I don't believe it was stolen, so it would be futile for me to try and answer that. We were all responsible for our own key cards and security logins. Actual keys aren't used in this part of the building. It's all very cutting edge, so anything like that would have been solely down to Alex. That just seems like conjecture to me, Mr. Miller. It sounds far too convenient to say that he logged it as stolen on the day that it happened. If that's true, then where did he log it? At what time? Wouldn't security know about that? I'm sorry, but it's all a little too convenient for me.
For God's sake.
I wish I could do more. I really do, but unless you have a point, then I can't help you with that. I really don't understand that man's mind. He's hell-bent on dragging this company's name through the mud. Out of curiosity, what was his evidence?
So he emailed you about it being stolen?
And I suppose I hid that from the police, did I?
Most likely.
Well, like you said, there's no evidence at all. Thank you for your honesty, at least.
Shit.
Excuse me, what? I didn't say anything about an alarm code.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I must have misspoken. Everyone in the Meta Centre is very careful with their security. I wouldn't... well, let's not dwell on that. No, it was another office. Can we please move on to a different subject, Mr. Miller? Don't you have something about my work that you'd like to ask at all? A vendetta against him? Well, that was blunt, but honestly, I'm not surprised. I wondered if you'd bring this up. It's rather troubling, but Alex and I never seemed to get on. And on the night of the attack, he threatened me. I didn't want to make this publicly personal, but it looks like he has anyway. Yes, he left me a voice message. He was very angry about something, and he took it out on me.
Deporting his parents, that's what he was angry at.
I have no doubts in my mind that man is guilty of everything they say he did. And I'm frankly amazed that anyone would stand up for him. No offence.
Yeah, present evidence. I heard the message. He didn't threaten you.
Well, you have
Cunt.
done your research. I feel bad for what happened to Alex. I really do, but I can't be held responsible for every little action taken. It may have sounded like Alex was the victim, but
Yes.
I can assure you, I felt very threatened by his message. You heard what he
Going
said.
to be exposed.
Everything that happens next is because of me. And We all know what happened next. Well, you don't sugarcoat your words, Mr. Miller.
No.
But tell me, what do you think about it? No, I suppose it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But I'm not here to defend my actions, Mr. Miller. Anyway, you heard the tape. I think it speaks for itself. Well, I don't envy you your job. Shall we move on?
Bloody hell.
Did I?
All that evidence I've missed. Or not got a chance to grab.
Few things around here probably still use keys. It's outdated if you ask me. You won't find anything in the facility that uses them, though. Our security protocol won't allow them. But I think the older areas still have the old-fashioned key and lock. No? Marlon Thornton, the cleaner, he's the only person who uses them for stock rooms and locker rooms, you know. Oh, that reminds me. If you're over at the Meta Centre later, you should take a look at the old Victorian baths. They're going to be knocked down soon, so you should take a look there before you go. No? They're just quite nice. I tell you what, I'll ask Marlon to open them up for you later on. If he's got time, then they'll be open for you when you go and have your meeting with Chance Crow. Anyway, okay, Mr. Miller, that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid. Can you please see yourself out?
This isn't over, you.